Hello and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. We're in the last episode. We began investigations for the reunion and turnabout case. I forgot the name of it for a second there. We learned more about Maya's family life and what it's like in the Korean village. We met Pearl, we met Morgan Fay, we met a bunch of people. Is that it? No, we also met Eenie Miney. So now we're back, and it's time for court, and we will be facing off against Franziska von Karma, which is the successor to Manfred von Karma, and I am very excited to see how she is in the game, because I know about her from the Phoenix Wright musical, or from the Random Encounters musical, so let's do it. Okay. What? Prosecutor von Karma? You mean? No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks, also he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now, his successor, I wonder what kind of person they will turn out to be. Well, you can't really be worse than Von Karma. Like, Von Karma was the worst kind of person. He was the worst of the worst. Edward at first seemed like a bit of a tool, but at the end you realized that he was actually just kind of he was just a guy doing his job the whole time. He cared about, and we learned by the end of the game, he cares about the truth. Not necessarily about getting a guilty verdict, he just cares about finding the truth. And as far as he was concerned, the truth was guilt. But then from when we got to Rise from the Ashes, Edward and I ended up working together to find the truth about the case. Not necessarily just, operating specifically based on what benefited our side the most. It's no good. Morgan? I'm guessing? How did you get here? How did you get on the train by yourself? Pearly! You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way! Somehow, I don't know how you got on the train. I don't... Something tells me you wouldn't have been able to convince Morgan Fay, who's been mother gothling you inside Korean Village for whatever number of years you've been alive, would suddenly flip like a switch and let you come to the trial. Something tells me that just wouldn't have happened, but thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together?
Mother was watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks.
Huh? Then you came all by yourself. My thoughts exactly.
Yep, I snuck out there and followed them.
You mean to tell me you walked? You walked? Am I interpreting this correctly? Don't tell me you walked all the way here.
Of course not.
Okay, not only you walk, you ran? No, just no. Just actually no. That didn't happen. You were telling the lies. You are telling me lies right now. There's no way in the world you ran all the way. Okay, let me put this into perspective for you. Okay, so it's a 2-hour train ride, right? Okay, that's a full day's worth of walking, right? It's gotta be. There's no way. That's gotta be at least a full day's worth of walking. I'm sorry. There's just no way. There's just no way. I can't. Oh my, if it takes 2 hours by train. Oh man. Pearly, what about the train?
Huh? What's a train?
I give up.
It's time, isn't it?
I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma.
Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that?
He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. Hey, the original Pursuit theme. I still remember him as though I seen him only yesterday. I love the music. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them, but when you're rivals for life... Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone. And he's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? Wait, did they actually kill off Edgeworth? No, there's no way they actually killed him off. Right? They wouldn't have done that, would they? Yep, that's Francisca von Karma, alright. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and the defense prepared? What is with this kid? Ahem, Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Okay, I know this character is supposed to be German, but I did a little bit of research, and I have two justifications. Number one, so in the Phoenix Wright comments video, or the Random Encounters Phoenix Wright musical comments video, Sparrow Rain explained the origin of this in that, because the character didn't have a German accent in the musical, I remembered, and then I thought maybe they said something about that in the comments, so I went back to watch that video, and she explained how, in the Japanese version of this game, Francisca von Karma is American, and then for the American version, it was just changed such that she would be German instead of American, so that would actually make sense, I guess. So technically speaking, she doesn't, originally, she doesn't have a German accent, which is good for me, because I wouldn't be able to do one even if I tried, so I am going to not do that. I'm going to give her my own voice, and what voice is like to me?
Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I am a woman, correct?
Hold on, so she's the famed successor to Prosecutor von Karma?
I am Francisca von Karma, the prodigy.
I see.
I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge.
Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can...
I'm talking.
Oh. Okay, she has a whip. Ladies and gentlemen, stand back. She has a whip and she is not afraid to use it.
If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me.
Please speak with your mouth like a normal person, I beg of you. Yow!
Make no mistake, I will defeat you.
Uh-huh, yeah, right.
Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Prosecutor von Karma, your opening statement, please.
Those of von Karma blood have only one fate, and that is perfection.
Oh, really? Then why do we absolutely destroy your father in the Turnabout Goodbyes case?
The defendant, Maya Fey, will find no escape from her guilt on my watch.
Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor, does the defense wish to render a plea of not guilty? Yes. Why would we not do that?
Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea.
You and your father were obsessed with your... This trial will end in 3 minutes. No more, no less.
That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time.
Justified self-defense. A plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. We could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor, because to plead justified self-defense is to say that you did kill someone.
How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall now call the first witness.
She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Ah, good old Gumshoe.
Witness, your name and occupation?
Yes, sir. My name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Yeah.
Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder.
Yes, sir. If everyone would please look to this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room.
That is not physically possible because I explained this yesterday, but I'll explain it again in case you didn't see yesterday's episode. Or earlier today's episode. There's absolutely no reason why Dr. Gray would have brought a weapon of any kind into the room if his intention was to get a confession out of the spirit that Maya was channeling. Maya would have had no reason to bring a weapon into the room because she has no motive against Dr. Gray. There physically had to have been a third person in that room for any of this to transpire.
What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit?
That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor.
Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room.
Ah, and that's when they found that the victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I have ever presided over. Floor plan's added to the court record. Yeah, it seems open and shut, but don't worry, give it a little bit of time. We'll crack it wide open.
So, how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that.
Stop wasting my time, then.
Witness testimony, cause of death. Okay, here we go.
The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
So the victim was stabbed before being shot.
This is the victim's autopsy report, sir.
Autopsy report. After being stabbed in the chest, he was shot in the forehead at point blank. The court accepted it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Well, it's a little too early for there to be any gaping contradictions, or glaring contradictions. So let me just make sure. All important badge. 1 year ago, May 2nd, 14 patients died. Malpractice, Great Surgery Clinic. A diagram of Fame Manor. We have the meditation room, channeling chamber, winding way, and then the side room. Okay. Side translucent isn't gonna play anything. Meeny Miny. This won't play. If Eeny Miny gets called as a witness, it'll come into play. Floating screen about 8 inches off the ground is a small hole. This is gonna be a big deal later, but I don't know. I don't think it contradicts anything yet. This is the key to the case. Not quite sure why. Diagram of the channel chamber. We saw that. Okay. I guess we just press as many things as we can. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it?
It was the victim.
Really? It was the victim's pistol. So he just happened to have a pistol with him at the time of murder, huh? Oh, actually, wait. Okay, let's assume he carries a firearm with him. Okay, sure, whatever. What about the knife? I'll ask about the knife later. The victim? Now, why would he have... And actually, wait a minute. Even in that objection, she didn't have a German accent. So yeah, no, I'm totally justified in doing my own voice.
Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start.
Fingerprints? There were fingerprints? Along with the victims, the defendant Meyer and Faye were also on that grip, sir.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't really contradict anything, because one would assume that as soon as the spirit is done being channeled, sure maybe their fingerprints aren't on it because they're a spirit, but then as soon as the spirit channeling is done, if you're still holding the gun, Maya's fingerprints are going to naturally on, so that's not really, like, that's bad for us, obviously, but it doesn't rule out the possibility that a spirit killed Dr. Gray. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I walked right into her hands there. Okay, shot was fired from point blank range. Let's hear more about that. I'm just gonna press everything because I don't really have any. I don't have any evidence that contradicts anything yet. Point blank, huh? So about how far away is that?
It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away.
And how do you know he was shot at point blank?
Tisk, 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 Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country.
Excuse me?
Gunpowder burn.
Gunpowder burn?
When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Gunpowder exploding is what makes the bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead.
Wow. Never knew that. Live and learn, I guess.
But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest.
Oh wait, no, I need to press everything. Stabbed. And what was he stabbed with?
A fruit knife.
A fruit knife. Okay, why would Maya have a fruit knife? Why would the victim have a fruit knife?
Looks like it belongs to the face, sir.
Okay, sure, it belonged to the face. physically, why would Maya bring a knife into the, like, actually, why would she bring a knife into the room? That makes no sense.
And of course, Maya's fingerprints are all over it.
All over it, huh? That does not look good. Again, though,
What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
that has the same explanation as the pistol. Not enough to cause instantaneous death. How severe was the wound?
If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand.
This testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill.
The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing.
Are you sure he was stabbed first then shot?
Yup, sure as can be. One look at the wounds and you come to the same conclusion too, pal.
A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point blank is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter, then, which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
God, what a pain.
That's enough. We have clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today.
Very well. The court accepts them into evidence. Pistol added to the court record, murder weapon was grazed. 2 shots fired. Okay. Why were 2 shots fired? See, that's the thing. Turnabout Goodbyes has trained me to be on the lookout for the number of times that the murder weapon was fired. Because that was the linchpin of that case. And this time, so there was... I guess, actually, that explains the... Knife, small fruit along the face, bears my fingerprints. Okay, so... If we look here, that explains the second, or the first shot. Because there's a hole in the thing. And then... So that's the first shot, and the second shot is to the forehead. I don't know why that's the case, but that lines up with the facts. So that's not a contradiction.
The date and time of death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitness claims to have heard 2 gunshots at this time.
And 2 murder weapons, both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, huh? This does seem like an open and shut case.
Naturally.
This is going from bad to worse, as if the summaries just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme.
Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there is no room left for doubt, is there?
That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes, even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? Of course. It is the opinion of your court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose.
See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you would change your plea in less than 10 minutes.
What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now will be the time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. If anything is all the way through, okay. If you plead justified self-defense, Maya's still a murderer. No matter how much wiggling around, no matter how much convincing we do, it's still murder. But not guilty, we can probably prove that. There's more, because the thing is, it's all or nothing, right? Like, justified self-defense isn't gonna get her off that much. Like, it's not gonna reduce Maya's sentence all that much, I'm pretty sure. But, so we go big or we go home. Not guilty. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined and she'd be labeled a murderer. None of which we want to happen. I can't let that happen. Your Honor, have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of a complete acquittal.
You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective.
Yes, sir.
Present the final portion of your testimony, the final strike.
Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony.
I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence.
Okay. And what might that be?
Sorry, pal. That isn't even a more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood.
Okay. Whose blood is it? That's my question.
The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
I want to know whose blood that was. So this is the costume. There certainly is evidence of a backspray of blood on this.
This priest directly is my fate of the crime, sir.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence. Closed Maya swearing time of the murderer, blood splatters on it. Yeah, but I'm gonna need some proof. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints are on both murder weapons and blood splatters are clothes. Could the situation get any worse?
Ha! What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. Okay, cross-examination incriminating evidence. Just, I'm gonna need some proof that that is, in fact, the victim's blood. This blood on that costume.
Lab results show.
Okay. Well, it was worth a shot. Worth a shot. So there was blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. The theft definitely not good. So were there any other clues you gleaned from this piece of evidence?
Well.
Oh, there's something there.
If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad. Not enough time. Let's move on.
Yes, Miss Von Karma was perfectly correct. Now even the judge is on her side. If I bite off more than I can chew here, what should I press further? Obviously, there's something that Von Karma doesn't want us to hear if she stopped us. There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There was no way for you to try me, buddy. Looks like my time is up, so about the costume. Is there one little thing? What would one little thing be? Is there something about this costume that I'm missing? I can't look at it. I must admit, that's one thing from Rise from the Ashes that very clearly dates it as something that happened after the fact. And not like a case that was made after the main trilogy. Because the ability to examine any evidence freely, something I very dearly miss, I must admit. Well, my time is up, so about the costume, I'm just gonna commit to this. Because there's gotta be some, here's the thing, right? If I'm given enough time to look at it, I can probably find something. Even if it's the most minuscule detail, it's something, I'll make sure it's something that we can run with. Your Honor, actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence.
Whoa, what? What are you talking about, pal?
Whoa, where is the problem you were talking about? I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence... Okay, let's get a good look at this. Let me get this out of the way. Okay. So... The blood splatter... I mean... I don't know that there would be that many... Like, from a shot in the head... With that much blood... Like, obviously there would have been a lot of blood, right? But with that much blood have splayed onto the victim's clothing, this feels like a setup. I don't know, I just don't feel like that would... Like, I guess I could present the... blood... The only thing that I can see is that the sleeves are a little short for Maya's costume. Oh, the sleeves! Wait, the sleeves! Wait, okay, wait, okay. Can't open the court record. But didn't Gumshoe say something like, the victim wasn't fighting back? But there's a hole here. If there's a hole here, that would explain the second shot. And then I guess that would have also hit the... Right, because the image showed that Maya's back was to the folding screen, and if it was Gray's gun, for whatever reason he fired, it goes through the sleeve, and then it also hits the bolt. Okay, that makes sense, okay. So, I don't know what this means yet, but it does contradict his testimony, because he said that nobody was fighting back. So, if that's true, why is there a hole here? Riddle me that, Batman. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume.
The sleeves? There was a tiny hole here. A hole? But that wasn't in the report.
Hold on. What's this around the hole? Aha! It smells faintly of gunpowder.
Your gunpowder? No one ever told me.
A hole that smells of gunpowder. It looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion that you can make is that it must be a bullet hole.
Order. This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else.
The clothes Maya was wearing at the time and press the check button for details. Wait, check button for details? Oh no. Oh, now I can look at the... That was real helpful a minute ago. Okay.
Sorry about that, I guess I messed up, sir.
Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding?
Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke. Nothing more.
How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight.
Well, I agree with this mistake on the part of the police. What Prosecutor Von Karma has said is true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then...
No way.
Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir.
It directly contradicts what he said. Yeah, was not fighting back. Very clearly incorrect, because there's a bullet hole in the costume. Objection, Your Honor. Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling.
You said that my client killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back.
Yeah, I did.
Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean?
What does it mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back?
You're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything.
Alright, the wind seems to be shifting. Ha. What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh?
Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Miss Von Karma?
It seems that my affair was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support it.
Oh, shoot.
Was I supposed to pick justified self-defense? Did I make a mistake?
Oh, shoot.
That is correct.
But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty.
Now that you... Why, that's right.
Which means the defense has yet to prove anything at all.
Well, yes, that's true.
Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in the costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense.
Huh? Also,
Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course.
huh? You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Okay, what transpired? Let's do this. Here we go.
During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but they were too close to me.
Ah, no. No. There's no way he would have been too close, because wasn't it you who said something earlier about gunpowder burn? Well, riddle me this, Batman. Because it was made very clear that at point blank range there was gunpowder burn around the bullet hole. So riddle me this, Batman. I said, riddle me this, Batman. Where's the gunpowder burn around this hole? I sense a rotten testimony. No, I didn't want to check it again. Back.
The defendant then pegged at the opening, took the victim's gun and ended it. The scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright?
On the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily.
Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please.
Okay, this one seems pretty open and shut. Cause if there was if it was really so close, which, by the way, doesn't make any sense. They were too close, so he missed. What? If they were really that close, there would be gunpowder burn. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing.
What do you mean?
This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume?
Gunpowder burn?
This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole.
Oh!
But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume.
That is a very good point.
Oh, sorry, that was a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. Exactly.
I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away.
Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking.
Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away, and it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that?
As if that was even possible. Oh yeah, because he was stabbed first. And he was stabbed right next to the heart. No way he would have been able to push her away after just being stabbed. Come on. According to the testimony, the wound was from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that.
Well then, that's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There. That should satisfy even you.
That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful, I can't afford to make a mistake here. Can concentrate and think. Okay, so the claim here is that the defendant pushed the victim away, and then the victim fired the shot. That doesn't make... No, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, hold on. So, I just realized something. I just didn't think anything about this bullet hole at all, because my thought process was, okay, well, in the photo they were sitting down to perform the spirit channeling thing, which would mean it would make sense for the bullet hole to be that low to the ground. But if you claim that Maya was getting ready to attack, she would not be sitting on the ground. So, yeah, that's a pretty big hole in your testimony there, buddy. There was a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor.
Fatal? Flaw?
Yo!
Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation.
There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow, and when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this. Yep, it's this. Nope, not that. It is this. Because if she was getting ready to attack, she wouldn't be sitting on the ground. Like, she wouldn't be that low to the ground. That just, no. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic.
What is that, a folding screen?
I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about.
Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please.
Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through it at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... when the shot was fired, Maya, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground.
Order, order. This changes everything.
Please look at the diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, he was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location, about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. She would have had been right in front of it. She was standing here, near the folding screen.
But wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim?
That's impossible.
But why?
You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she was shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume.
Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright, you...
I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing away from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think that this has changed the defendant?
It changes everything. It changes literally everything, because she would not have been ready to attack if she was close to the ground. The prosecution has claimed the defendant was aimed to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with a knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at this time?
Squatting all the way by the folding screen?
Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense.
Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason.
Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job.
Ugh.
Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster.
You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me.
Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile?
Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic?
Huh? How is it all my fault?
You can start by repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later.
Punishment?
Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness.
Next witness? It's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. To be continued. Music? So the of confusion was more in regards to, so I guess multi-stage trials is going to be regular now. I don't know, I can't, that was one thing, again, if Rise from the Ashes had one flaw, it was that the trials were always split into 2 sections instead of one continuous section. It made things easier from a video perspective, because otherwise all the trials would have been over an hour long. In fact, the last trial was split into 3 parts, so that would have been a nightmare, so it makes sense in that case, but I don't know, we're only at half an hour. I feel like we could probably have kept this going a little bit longer, but I mean, that's a minor gripe, admittedly. It's not that big of a detriment that it's split into 2 parts. It's just, that's more of a personal preference than anything else. But as far as the case itself goes, this is unraveling pretty nicely. This case is far better put together than the first case. It's pretty simple. Obviously, it's more in the style of the Turnabout Sisters case in that it's one room, one location. So it all is within that room, which you know, we're still in the early stages of the game. It's getting used to everything, I'm spoiled, right? Because I'm coming off the heels of Turnabout Samurai, Turnabout Goodbyes, and Rise from the Ashes, all of which were like each case in that set of 3 got increasingly more complicated. Rise from the Ashes had 3 different crime scenes, and that was the longest case of the entire game. So I'm just spoiled because of coming off of those complicated cases, but this case is pretty simple, and it's pretty good. You know, it's pretty well put together. Everything lines up. It makes a lot of sense. So, you know, pretty good so far. I'm excited to see where it goes. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. I hope to catch you all later tomorrow. Yes, for some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All. Goodbye.